welcome to this evening's meeting of the Town Council. We've got a long agenda tonight, so lots of things to discuss. First item is apologies for absence. Wendy?
Julia, Paul Heinrich, Paul Brand, Tracy.
There's 6 here, so we are
Yeah,
still for it. Any declarations of interest from anybody on any of the items on the agenda? Anything else? Item 3 is the approve the minutes of the meeting on the 28th of January. Hopefully we'll have those. Any comments on page 1? Page 2? Page 3?
The only thing I amended a little bit because I didn't say that I've confirmed that I've confirmed the EMPs, I've received them, but the Easter egg hunt I have done, the fun day and the bear festival. I've done the fun day and the bear festival.
Okay.
Check this.
Or page 5? Okay, so someone propose we accept those? Eric? Second item. All in favour? Thank you. Much agreed. I'll sign those in a bit. And we also have the minutes of the meeting on the 5th of February, which is the one for the planning application. Very short and precise. Any comments on those? No? I'll propose we accept those. Someone second that? All in favour? Thank you. Item 4, any matters arising to the clerk's report.
Yeah.
Which one is provided there?
I think it's all okay. Yeah, the only thing I wanted to bring your attention to is at our last meeting, it was proposed by Stephen and seconded, I can't remember, somebody else, that we should take payroll outsourcing. Unfortunately, we're unable to do this by employment law because that's amending somebody's contract and they're not at work to discuss the contract and be consulted on it. So we'll have to continue doing payroll for the next 12 months or for the whole of 2025, April 2025 to May. Yeah, and also to do with appraisals, we'll have to keep those in-house for the time being because it affects, if you liaise with me, you can't affect with my other 2 staff members also. So that's the same for that as well.
Any questions from anybody else on those?
And I'll put the freedom of information on here because it will be going onto our website. All of our freedom of information requests have to be uploaded onto the website.
On the skate park training, do we know what can we do that?
No, I will chase them. I don't think what's going on. The gov.uk email addresses that was proposed, that is now going to become mandatory on the JPEG that comes out in April. So I have got all .gov email addresses. We will be working towards getting a .gov website as well. So I will be sending all the .gov email addresses out with new passwords for all fancies, and that's the new emails that need to be used from now on.
Okay.
I don't have access to them, and the technology have access to them. I will have access to them only to hold after a councillor has left. No longer councillors. I can't access them at all.
Okay.
So is that from the 1st of April?
The new JPEG will come out on the 1st of April. We had a training session today and that was mentioned in there.
Thank you.
That's mandatory.
So you'll send those out in the next week or 2?
Yeah, well, yeah, but it is a recommendation that we have those.
Yeah.
And
So we'll set up ready to go?
yeah.
Okay, thank you. Or any projects on the go? I think all the projects are finished that we started, haven't we?
No, any projects to think about for next year.
Okay. Item 5, Mayor's announcements. I don't think I've got anything to raise on this occasion. So item 6, District and County Councillors. None at all. Saul first.
So you'll be in a hurry.
Stage before duty now. Good evening, everyone. Hello. For those of you who don't know, I'm Saul Penfold. I'm your county councillor for North Walsham West, in which all the roadworks are happening, which I'll come to. But just to give you an update on the county itself, you probably are aware that the county council elections that were due in May have been cancelled or postponed. Maybe that's a better word, due to the fact that Norfolk and Suffolk have been accepted into the government's fast track scheme for devolution and sort of local government reorganisation, which essentially means that over the next few years the county council and your district council, so North Norfolk, but all the district councils across Norfolk will be wound down and abolished and replaced by unitary authorities. The geography of those we don't know yet. It wouldn't be one unitary authority covering the whole of Norfolk. It might be two, it could be three, it could be an east-west split, it could be a Greater Norwich unitary and then a kind of a ring around it. Who knows, that's all to be discussed. But those authorities would have all the functions of the current county and district councils. So the timetable for that looks tight, but the plan, I think as I understand it at the moment, is for there'll also be a mayor to cover Norfolk and Suffolk. So the mayoral authority elections would happen next May 26th. The elections to the new unitary authorities would happen, we think, in May 27. Existing councillors would carry on because the newly elected unitary council will sort of shadow, there'll be a sort of shadow authority as the transition happens. Likely to carry on until sort of March or May 2028. So that's the sort of timescale. So sort of 3 years from now, really, we will see the introduction of the new unitaries. And Norfolk County Council voted for that. Our group wanted the elections to still go ahead this May, but we felt nevertheless we should vote for this because if we didn't and Norfolk wasn't at the table to discuss this with government, it would be kind of down to Norfolk anyway. So it's far better to be at the table discussing it than just have it imposed on them. So happy to have any questions on that, but it's all sort of in negotiation at the moment. So our district leader and county leader will obviously be part of those discussions.
Just a quick question. So that Norfolk Suffolk mayor would sit over the 6 unitaries within that area.
Yeah. And be quite powerful, I think.
Potential removal of the PCC as it exists now, included into the mayoral authority, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sorry, Chris.
No, please do, Matt. Please do. You know just as much as I do. So yeah, yes, exactly. Sort of a devolving of powers upwards, upfolding, if that's a word. But a little sort of that's not great personally, I think. But there's a lot to be worked out. But Mal's right. Sort of the PCC powers will probably go to the mayor, and obviously a very large area to cover as well. Yeah. But that's likely to be next May, that election, May 26th. So basically, you've got us for another 3 years. So, sorry about that. I thought they'd go, hooray!
I attended a meeting on town and parish councils and how that would happen for them, and there's not much information yet, but I can see town councils taking on a lot of responsibility. Maybe. I'm not sure. But that
the idea of devolution is to do that, isn't it? We shall have to see. I mean, it's so early at the moment, but clearly, I'm not sure the government know exactly what these powers will be. They weren't able to tell us much, but that was what the feeling was. Yeah. It's sort of an outline timetable at the moment, but we are on that track. So, all change in local government. First time for 50 years, I think, roughly 50 years. We had our budget meeting last week at county, as did district, and budget's tight as always. Council tax rise, I think 3.99%, which is the maximum allowed certainly for council, and Mal can fill you in on district. We actually put in an amendment, which got defeated, but was to carry on the Road Safety Community Fund. And if anyone was watching the county council meeting, which I'm sure you weren't, but if anyone did happen to catch it, I did mention the fact that the Millfield Road extension of the double yellow lines, which I tried to get done in the last round of the Road Safety Community Fund and failed, would be, we wanted this fund to go on for another 2 years. That was our amendment. Put another 500,000 in it across the county because it's done a lot of good work. And I cited that as an example of those double yellow lines coming back, making that traffic flow far safer and easier going up to the junction with the Norwich Road. The bollards there at the moment are actually doing quite a good job, I think, and it shows you how better that could be. That amendment
Sorry,
got defeated.
you've moved it down to Station Road. That's all that's happened.
Yes, well well, Station Road is another thing that we would be part of that Road Safety Community Fund bid, but it got, so nothing will change. So once those bollards go back, then, you know, we're back to that position.
Some of them are still moving them to get them,
Yes.
putting them back. So.
I did see that, and they
The
probably
white
need a
van
bit of
man,
refreshment.
white van man particularly.
Is there?
But there's no livery on the van, so I couldn't tell you who's.
No, that's interesting. I think the highway teams are sort of going up there and checking them. But last time I looked, the bollards were looking a little bit tired. They've been squashed a bit.
Yeah.
So
They've been bounced about a bit.
Yeah. So on to the highway works. I asked for an update today from Highways, and they say, I'll quote this, works for the traffic signals upgrade at the B1150 A149 junction are progressing very well, with all accommodation works completed at the Avenue Road Car Sales Company. Works on phase 3, I'm not quite sure what that is, have now begun and is on course to finish on time. I guess they're looking at the crossing works. Works have started on the Grammar School Road 2 weeks ago with a couple of minor problems on site, but have all been dealt with and are also on programme to finish on time. So I think as we worked it out, that would be, it was 20 weeks from the 6th of January, so whatever that is going forward. I'd be amazed if they do finish on time, but don't quote me on that. I'm sorry I do not have more of an update. We have a works meeting tomorrow, so I'll give you more in-depth answer tomorrow after the meeting. And that is actually tomorrow because this came through today. I did ask if we could have a town councillors, county and district walk and talk and have a look at everything if you fancy that. So they've said that's fine. They just look for some dates where we can go and talk to them.
Yeah, I regularly go down there,
Thank you,
and
Becky.
the traffic lights, they said they were ahead of time there.
Oh, great.
Yeah, that's what they told me the other day.
Well, that is-
So I go regularly down there and have a chat with them
Great.
and just see what they're up to.
Yeah. Well, you
And
probably know
take
more.
pictures, because we had to put some pictures in for Just Alsham. So.
Are you getting the updates? Because they said they would give you a sort of a fortnightly written
Yeah, I
update.
haven't had
You
one
haven't
since
had
we've had the latest one in Just North Alsham.
Yeah, which is the one I sent through.
Yeah, I haven't had another one. I will
Okay.
email Ben and ask for another update.
Yeah. But if you want to come down and have a look, I mean, Eric's got questions about when the grammar school road works will finish, and then obviously North Walsham and Bloom can think about replanting there and that sort of stuff. So, but I think, I mean, I've had, you know, there have been issues down at Ocean Road, clearly with more traffic down there, that between you and me and the police, I think we've done all that we can. At the moment, I've got more signs on order, sort of think pedestrians in road, signs that will go on the lampposts. It's the only place they can go. You can't stick them in the road. But they might get hits, they sometimes do, with big lorries and stuff going down there. You've got Sand 2.
Yeah, tomorrow I'll be taking the data off the Sand 2 because it's just been changed. So it was on for 2 or 3 weeks one way, and I'm now getting the data which I will send off to the police. And then it's been turned around now.
Yeah.
James done it today. So.
And they've done some more speed checks. I think, but paradoxically, the heavier the traffic down there, the slower it's going. So, you know, obviously there's more traffic, because particularly for local traffic, because we all know that's the way, you know, that we want to get around onto the Norwich Road. But so that's kind of an ongoing discussion with residents of Irish Road to try to, you know, mitigate those problems and keep people safe. basically.
Yeah, we're now putting the sand too down Munsley Road as well, because there's a problem down Munsley Road and Ningate Road and more traffic. It's just
Yeah.
on there as well.
I mean, we're getting on for, well, we had 8 weeks nearly, so we're getting on to the halfway point. I won't say it's not been as bad as I thought it would be, because that will jinx it, so I won't say that. But, you know, hopefully people are being sensible and, you know, we'll get through and it will be fantastic once we're done.
Thank you.
Any questions? Happy to try and answer, or to take back to highways.
So just for clarification, does that mean in the next financial year, county members don't have the £10,000 highway?
No, we still have that. It's 12,000 actually now.
12,000, right.
The Road Safety Community Fund was a difference.
Right, okay.
Sorry,
That's
it's a
fine.
different pot of money. It was a specific thing where you could bid for funding in your division to improve road safety. So, for example, I did get a scheme in Colby where they reduced the speed limit there through Colby, which was 40. That's going down to 30.
Right, no, that's fine.
We still will have our local member fund of 12,000 a year to spend locally. And I'm still waiting, I should say, on a figure to come back from highways for the King's Arms Street pavement widening, which they are up for. But it might be helpful, perhaps to have a discussion, not here, but at some point, about what the town council could put into that. Because I think highways thought that they were going to have to put like the vast majority of them, and I said it might actually be more of a balanced picture. We can put some of our local member fund in, you can put a big chunk in. Highways can maybe just top that up and
Okay, thank you. Mal?
Unless you want to add something, Karen?
I just want to talk about the Green Streets project.
I'm happy to hear you first.
Okay, no, thank you.
By all means.
So I'm Kate Leith, councillor for North Walsham East, so that's in July, and we are running a project to provide residents with a free tree for their front gardens to try to green the town. So Wendy is very kindly going to put something up on the town council website, aren't you? The trees are arriving in the next couple of weeks, so will be distributed to residents that ask for them shortly. There's also some leaflets there in case anybody would like to spread the word, perhaps along their street or talk to friends across the town. We just want to get as many trees in front gardens ideally as possible, back gardens if people don't have space in their front garden. Thank you.
So, as per usual, it's time for bins. The demand of helping residents with other things that we can't discuss here seems to be taking up a vast amount of time. However, we have had some headway on that. In the next 2 weeks, we should meet with Serco and their managers to work out the health and safety logistics of moving all of the bins from the back behind the gravestones down into one area, which we have discussed before. I'm very hopeful the town council are still sympathetic to helping to provide some financial support with that. There was recently a query about moving gravestones to provide access. I've immediately gone back to that and said I don't think so. That's not a precedent that we want to set in our churchyard, moving the gravestones where they are. That will come really costly, really expensive, when actually it's the bins that need moving. Residents will be far easier to deal with than the commercial properties. However, talking to some of the landowners, their landlords, they're happy to tie into their lease that the communal bin area will be where a bin would be located for their premises. So that's hopefully a good score there. I have worked with our street cleansing operative to keep the bins at least closable, because this Monday and the following 2 Mondays coming, there are funerals. That's just not right. It's disgusting. It really upsets me that bins are overflowing, disgusting like that. It needs not to happen. I've also had contact with David at the church, and I believe the town council did once before discuss about the placement of a bollard to try to restrict traffic from using the church grounds basically as an overflow car park for when they can't park anywhere else. I would really like the town council to look at doing that, please, to get that under control. I've seen some very strange behaviour from lorries and trucks going in there, turning around and forming, I don't know how many point turns, but a lot of points. But that leads on to the fact that also it might be worth looking slightly outside there in front of the barbers that exists. That's kind of stacking system there. I'm sure we can all remember before the changes to the town centre and the way that cars were stacked 3 wide across that high street. It did stop a little bit. Now other people are finding ways to abuse that situation again. There is no powers to stop anyone from parking on the curb, but we could possibly purchase another couple of bars, removal ones, and put them on the side there to try and reduce that and curtail that. As has been mentioned, the police were in the town centre. There was a lot of traffic flowing through there for absolutely no reason whatsoever.
Oh, come on.
There is no reason to flow through it. There's restrictions in place.
One school,
that exist.
A149, Pound Lane.
It doesn't make any difference if there's restrictions in place, then traffic has to adhere to restrictions. It's as simple as that, isn't it? I've had issues with Sanders buses driving through there and had to make contact with them to chase them up. The buses have not been allowed to drive through the town centre for a long time now. That is nothing new at all. But I've had positive feedback from Sanders about that, and they would speak to the drivers involved. They do have tracking on those buses. So it's okay if a driver says I didn't, they will know that they did. I know Emma almost got knocked into by a vehicle. I'm sure she wasn't overly happy about that, but Justin the May might need a little chat, because we did have a chat some months ago down there about the signage. Yes, excellent.
Nothing actually happened on that, did it?
Nothing's come forward on that, but it does need addressing. It is difficult to read all of that as we come. We've had this discussion. It does need addressing and dealing with. Beyond that, so you've covered all the roadworks that are taking place. There has been some grumblings about the speed that cars are travelling up Park Lane. That's not a new thing, that's a regular thing that's going on there, although that does make me wonder whether the potential for a crossing there maybe should be explored, because you do have elderly people who need to cross that road to access the doctor's surgery the other side. I'm not saying it's an absolute, but it might be worth just an exploration, although given the amount of roads currently closed. Let's not pursue that at the moment. There's enough of them. Again, with the King's Arm Street, that's something that we need to discuss as well, isn't it? I think other than the budget, which was an incredibly long meeting, which was dragged on for far longer than it needed to be, with needless recorded votes over and over, it was pointless. It dragged on far longer than it needed to. Obviously, some people weren't in a hurry to get home that evening. Other than that, though, I think that just about covers most of it.
The other bollards are on our next agenda, so.
Excellent, that's great.
Just on that point, Mr. Chairman, if I may, thank you about that. I'll chase Justin on that meeting we had about the additional signage to stop the illegal, traffic through the town centre. Because I think we came up with some good suggestions there, and he was quite keen on that. But of course, we've got to give people more warning, because some people might not know, some people do, of course, but the more the better in terms of signage. So I think. Would you excuse me, I need to get to Worcester Parish. Thank you very much. Cheers.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Some people have approached me with regards to signs as they're coming up to Marketplace, King's Arm Street. And they're saying they still, regardless of the fact that the signs are there, we know they're there, but they're saying they can't see them because they're mounted too high up.
When we had the meeting with Highways, Saul was referring to, they were going to do some adjustments and do some additional signing around the
I think they can be lowered.
to try and. I'm not sure if they can, there's some additional signing.
Justin was supposed to explore that option, and it is a lot of information on one sign,
It is.
if you're not familiar.
Thank you for clarifying.
Asked if it could be a yellow sign, didn't we?
Yeah.
To stand out. I don't know. It was really tricky.
Anyway, that's being chased up. I don't think we've got any police here, so go to the public section. The public here today want to raise any issues?
For me, one point. It was mentioned, I think, at one of the previous meetings, and I think Wendy spoke to the contractors, but the diversion sign and road close sign are about 4 cones that are positioned just as you turn from Yarmouth Road onto Grammar School Road, make it awfully difficult for HGVs that are having to come that way now rather than the other way, you know, Arctics and such like. If they're turning left there, they're having to go right across the other side of the road, perhaps on with the oncoming traffic from the traffic lights coming up there, as they go down Grammar School Road, and also the buses coming from the hub, as they come round, they're having to use the right-hand side of the road because of the overhang on the front of the coaches. It's just ridiculous. It was moved, and then they've moved it back again when they started on Grammar School Road.
The safety advisory team down there.
Yeah.
I know Saul and Bernie from Safer Streets have had endless emails about that, which I've been copied in on.
Yeah.
There is a safety person down there, so I won't have a word with
I mean, the effect it's having is it's actually wearing away that centre island, and actually causing ruts there.
A third of the centre island has
It's gone.
been smashed,
Yeah.
smashed away.
And if you're driving on it in a car,
Yeah.
it's not doing the car any good. That's one thing. And the other thing, I mean, just following on from what was just said about the signage at the bottom of the town, I mean, it is ridiculous. The amount of cars that are just driving straight through, they don't have any conception that they shouldn't be driving through there before 4 o'clock. I mean, one idea I would suggest would be to make those signs, instead of the car and motorbike prohibited as such, make it a no entry sign and then put except for disabled and commercial vehicles loading and unloading.
When we were talking to Justin, there was lots of discussions about what could maybe be achieved and what, because obviously there's lots of
I think-
legislation around
Yeah,
what
well,
you can
the
place
problem
and
is
where.
the majority of drivers nowadays especially, don't understand what that prohibition is.
That's very valid as a comment. I'm
Yeah,
sure,
if they see a no entry, they know it's no entry.
Yeah.
But that's
Sorry.
a good point. The top with those signs are in the road is definitely a problem. And indeed, all the signage around the pedestrian crossing on Grammar School Road is so many signs, it's quite difficult for wheelchairs and buggies.
Thank you.
Yeah, Vicky. Anything else? Anyone? Okay, thank you. Moves us on to the finance section. 8.1, we need to approve the expenditure since the last meeting. We have the schedule there. I'm assuming apart from the work-based one, which we'll discuss later. Has anybody got any comments on those? If not, I'll propose that we approve those.
You might have noticed that the North Horsham Garden Centre, the ABO and Saxon notices because I'm getting all the vehicles serviced.
Okay, yeah, well, that's important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're all being done, so that's.
I propose we accept those. Second. All right. Me. All in favour? Thank you. And 8.2 is to receive the bank reconciliation which we've got there.
Yeah, I haven't put the bank statements on because I had a problem with the wages one and I couldn't redact it properly. So, but when we do the internal scrutineers report, I am going to get that person to check all the bank statements monthly and check that the bank statements and the bank record agree, rather than bring the bank statements to the meeting because there can be some confidential stuff on there that we want to see.
As long as it's seen by someone.
But that is what we're now going to work towards doing. Yeah.
Okay. So we don't need to vote on that, do we? 8.1 correspondence. Have you got anything? I don't recall seeing anything.
No.
No.
No, not anything. I usually send stuff around.
Yeah. 8.2 clock decisions. Anything this month?
No.
No. Good. So the next item are recommendations from the Events and Tourism Group. The item 6 was a recommendation from the group we should take part, the council vehicle should take part in the procession, which would be a good thing to do. I think this other point was about whether we could sponsor a local group to be able to take part in the procession who wouldn't otherwise do so, maybe using tractor and trailer, for example. So we could offer it out as a, you put in applications to use it, or we could get another group who might otherwise only be doing a walking procession to...
It would come under our insurance, however, one of our team would have to drive it, so we have to make sure that the member of the friends team is available on that day.
Would that not be governed by application form on a one-to-one basis? If they wanted to put that in? Is there not something else similar to the other application forms?
Yeah.
I think that's just a
Just to
good
make
idea.
it easier.
Yeah.
And then everybody knows exactly what they're asking for, when they're asking for it, and then it falls under EMPs if necessary.
Yeah.
So I think the basic thing there is whether or not we're happy to offer to support a local group. I propose that we do. I think it'd be a good thing.
I'll second that.
Yeah, okay.
And then put the question under to the
Yeah.
people.
All in favour of that?
Yeah.
So we probably have...
We will probably put it on Facebook advertising and stuff like
I
that.
noticed you using next door
Yeah,
neighbour for
we
the
are,
first time today.
And we've just got our Instagram page sorted
Congratulations.
as well. That's a recommendation by the
Yeah.
team.
Item 8, North Horsham Play, their egg hunt this year is going to be the last one. They've done a great job in raising events over the year, and it's a very popular event anyway. So there was a suggestion that maybe in future years that we could take over the Easter egg hunt. I think the existing North Horsham Play team would be happy to actually come and deliver it.
Yeah.
But it's, I mean, at the moment it raises some money, so we could either still raise money for some charity, or we could reduce the cost so more people can take part. So this wouldn't be until next year anyway, so it's more of a
Feasibility study at the moment.
yeah, so it's just a
We're just
suggestion
going
that
to,
might
Matt
come up.
Smith said he'd help us with where we're going to get the Easter eggs and how we go and get the packs and things. So, yeah.
Because Sally Matt does a hell of a lot of work for
He
that.
does, yeah.
A lot of respect for that man.
Yeah, and the same might apply to the yard sale, which again he won't be doing in the future. So it's not a huge amount of work, but it's a very good thing for the town. Lots of people like to take part. Well, that's serious for advice now, isn't it? We're not
Yeah.
doing any actions yet.
Nice, isn't it?
Item 9 was to approve the artwork for the new events postcard, but I don't think we have that yet.
I don't think I included that, but I will send that
Yeah,
round.
so-
In fact, I'll send that round. Yeah, so I've got to include that, but we need. So the events postcard is just the same as it was last year, exactly the same, you know, but it was to have the car boots, the new events, and put local events on, like the Easter egg hunt, well, a bit like the Easter egg hunt, like the Bear Festival,
All the other festivals.
yeah, maybe there was
All
just,
the
so
other
it'll be
events.
exactly the same,
Mhm.
but just with that as well.
Is that the
added
sort of
on.
thing you're going to do with this board that we've got that's not gone yet?
Yeah. Yes.
Sorry.
When we get ready, when we get the board, yeah, we know we're getting a board.
Okay.
Anyway, we can't.
But actually, we tried to get SR Print to find out about doing a board, and they didn't come back to us. But when I went to Sheringham train station, because they got one at Sheringham train station, and it's just I can't remember, just a plastic boardy thing, and then you just put new stickers on
That's
top
all.
of it, isn't it? Yeah. So we will get a look at that.
As far as the postcard, we can't agree that yet. Will we need to agree the artwork for that?
It was exactly the same as it was before, just with the extra events on, so, and it's exactly the same cost of £490 as it was.
Can we agree a budget of £500 for that? Okay.
I'll propose that, 500 million.
Maybe a second?
Yeah.
All in favour? And thinks we need to get those out and
We
get
do,
them out
yeah, we
into
need
the
to
world.
get them out.
Thank you.
Do we also need to agree at this stage that in principle the town council will organise the yard sale, because they're not doing it in North Horsham Play and July is coming up
Yeah. So
So,
I'm not sure whether we will propose, well, we weren't thinking of doing it this year, but
in other words, we're going to have a miss this year on the yard sale, aren't we?
We,
You've not got a lot of time to try and get...
Well, look, all I'm asking is that
yeah.
if we're not going to do it, fine.
Yeah, I think both of them we're proposing to take over in 26.
Right,
well, if you take the yard sale, you've got an END meeting coming up soon, haven't you? And then that can come into March's agenda, which will be
Yeah,
about 2
okay.
that'd be enough
to get
time.
it
yeah.
done.
It's really whether it's viable to do it, isn't it?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's quite
March is still,
easy to do.
Yeah. Thank you. Item 10, planning applications. I don't think we have any this month.
We haven't had any, it's been very quiet.
Unusual. That's good. Item 11, we've had an application, as you saw, for a tennis coach to make use of the tennis courts in the park for training kids, which is a great thing to do, and they are very underused. My only concern is that at the moment they're open access for anyone to go, and obviously blocking it out for a commercial operation might be a problem, and how we actually manage that, because the gates aren't locked. So allocating a tennis coach, 3 till 4 on a particular day, if someone else turns, a member of the public turns up, that gets quite tricky.
Could be fractions.
And I don't think we can make a charge because I think the tennis courts were done with a
National Lottery.
National Lottery Fund, and
I
because
don't
it was
know
a
the
run
ins and outs of
weekend.
that, I just remember it being.
No, I have had a quick look, so I don't think we'll be able to charge. However, the tennis courts need cleaning, and they're quite dangerous, and they need to be cleaned professionally. I think in the past, a member of the tennis people who've done them has done them themselves, but for safety and health and safety and risk, they need to be professionally cleaned, because if anybody falls on in there, they're cleaned themselves. So I will be getting a quote, or if I don't get it done, then I'll have to shut the tennis courts, and they're not safe to be used at the moment.
Yeah. In terms of someone using it, we have discussed in the past various ways of having a lock with a key code on
Yeah, we
various
have
things,
had a
which is
lock,
quite complicated and needs administration.
Have you not seen the new system they've got just down the road here from Rolls Club? It's basically just the power supply in a fob.
Yeah.
It's the size of a, what do you call them, sewing needle. And you just walked up and you've got 3 lights, and if you put your fob on it, it unlocks.
Yeah.
If you haven't got a fob, you can't get in.
Well, the system we looked at before was one where it sent you a code, text code to your phone, a bit like a phone, a bank card thing that you had where it sends you a code, and then it would unlock the gate, so you could then book a particular slot and it would only let you in.
The trouble is with that, people would have to come, they'd have to only come into the office to get the fobs between 9 and 1, so it's
Well,
not
that, the system I'm
accessible.
talking about doesn't have faults, but you still
No, it
need
hasn't,
someone.
yeah.
You still need someone to.
You've got to have somebody
Have
who
the
knows
member of
staff on
to
the
send
phone,
out the...
Yeah, so
Well, it's all right if you planned ahead, but if it's a nice day and you think I'll go there this afternoon, and then you could.
And it's 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to get anybody in the office after 1 o'clock. So if
The only
anybody
other
wants to
thing
go
you could
there,
do
then
is
you're
maybe
not
sort
going to
of
get a fob.
have it in a shop, have a look fobs and say, would you be able to give these people out if they came in and asked?
Post office or something.
Yeah, you might be able to, or even, is it called rugby's down the road?
Collins or
Maybe.
Yeah, Ross might
I'll ask the girls.
Ross might be the problem.
Who's that?
It's Bromley's.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
well,
what I thought, because that's what they...
They're open all the time, aren't they?
So I need to speak to the bowls just to see how they use their fob system.
The fob system's brilliant. It's far better than the one
Do
they
you
had
know,
prior.
have you got an eligible person to contact?
I can get it for you. I'll
Email me, that'd be brilliant, thank you.
So in terms of how we respond to this coaching guide, do we need to defer that until we work out the way of managing
The trouble is, he needs to start promoting, because he's done it in the schools and he wants to get on and do it, but I presume he could use it if it's free. We can't dedicate some time to him.
You can just do a donation
He could do a donation to charity, yeah.
We
So
can
we're not
to the
charging
village or
him.
whatever.
Because
So that's not the charge, but
What sort of
You
schedule?
might.
I'm sorry.
Time, Bill?
So I was going to say, what sort of schedule is he wanting to use? Every day, once a week?
Once a week, I think, once or twice a week.
We could sit there and we could have a notice on the gate saying this court is reserved between 2 and 4 on Fridays or whatever, and but that wouldn't be foolproof, obviously.
If council wouldn't mind for me, £3 is worth, because there's no booking system there.
No.
If you tell this young lad, which is a great idea, I'm all for people trying to bring things out, but because that's not bookable, I regularly walk past there and see people using that tennis court for all sorts of things that don't involve tennis at all. You're going to really struggle. If he goes there, even if you said you could have it grass, you know, you're not allowed to charge anyone, blah, blah. If he goes there, you know, a bunch of people just be like, I'm not moving, mate. What are you going to do? I know there is a problem,
Yeah.
but this may compound the problem, but I'm sorry I shouldn't be getting involved in the discussion.
No, I agree with what you're saying, because they've got nobody to police it.
Yeah,
That's the problem.
and that's the problem.
It's a public place.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right, I
Could
think
I just suggest a way forward? These tennis courts, ever since they've been redone with lottery money, have not been fully used or used to what they should have been. This is an offer to encourage people to play tennis and to have better usage. So, and I do appreciate that the person concerned with this would obviously want to get on and promote it. Wouldn't the thing be that in principle we would like to explore it positively, but that we need to work out a way that we could do bookings for the fob system or some of that system? Because the key to this is that if they're going to have it for a certain number of hours each week, we don't want to then get involved in arguments if somebody else is there, whether they're using it for tennis or something else. But I do think we need to send out, in my view, a positive message that we'd like to encourage this, because they are underutilised. And as long as they remain underutilised, then they're going to be used for purposes other than tennis. And also it doesn't help if they're not being used, the surface will deteriorate. So that's what I'd like to propose, that we actually, in principle, say that we'd like to explore this in a positive way, if we can work out proper booking details and so on.
Why not offer them a trial? 2 months or something? Sorry, I'm not allowed to talk, am I, really? Sorry.
Good idea. Of course, we'll not put that on the agenda back.
yeah, so I think we'll go along with what you're saying there, Eric, but
I mean, the fob system might be quite easy and quick
Yeah,
to
look.
put in.
or just a lot.
The person has to, I mean, the only reason I'm raising this is that the person has to understand at the moment anybody can use it, but we have a problem, they're underutilised, which in turn puts those tennis courts at risks in a number of directions. And we would like to see them better utilised, we'd like to see tennis encouraged among children, so it's a question of working out the practicalities so that it can actually be effective. I think Jonathan's over there.
Sorry, I'm from, well, I recently moved to North Walsham, and I know we're not necessarily allowed to talk, but I may have an idea to go around that. Would it be possible to potentially put a small sign on the gate or near the gate to say once a week at such time is being used for training, as opposed to making restrictions?
That's what I'm suggesting we need to explore with the person doing it. The challenge is, as one of the councillors has raised, if there's some people in there that don't want to comply with that, then you hit a difficulty. But I would have thought, given they're not utilised that well, we ought to find a way through where we can achieve this.
What about online booking system? Surely that would be cheaper than a full.
There's one, I just think,
Yeah, so I'll second your proposal, Eric.
what I'm saying, in principle, yes, let's move it forward.
So we can look at that and I'll give it to DNA.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Because that's the goal.
but speak to the guy and tell him
Yeah.
where we are. Yeah.
Have a conversation,
All
see what we can work
in
out.
favour of Eric?
Yeah.
Thank you. Item 12 is the forming or reforming neighbourhood planning working group, which we did start a year or so now, and has fallen by the wayside, hasn't it?
I think it's important that we do have one. A lot of
Yeah.
towns and parishes have got one. I did have somebody, because we can get grants for this, you can get 10,000 grant, and I think that is important that we have a consultant help us do it, because even though I have helped put one together, I just don't think we've got the expertise here to do a full plan and application, or neighbourhood plans. So you just need a small working party with a consultant who will help start that off.
So is the best thing to source or look into the consultancy bit?
I've had an application for one, I've just got to go and get
And
another
then
one.
we'll bring that next slide and then decide who wants to work with that,
Yeah.
which includes members of the public as well, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
it does. So it'll be, I think Mal was quite interested, and the head teacher at the high school.
Yeah.
Could you contact the people that were on it originally?
Yeah,
So
I'd like to, yeah.
just,
But you'd need at least 2 councillors, I think, as long as well.
And for the benefit of the public, the neighbourhood plan is a plan that the community does to try and steer the direction of the future of the town, which informs the planning process. It doesn't mean that we can say that you never want anything built or anything like that, but you can sort of steer areas of development and styles of building, that sort of thing. So it doesn't give huge powers, but it does give some power to the community. So if we do that next month, then we've got some information,
Okay.
and if we contact the people who are there before. Right. Item 13, to agree staff carrying over outstanding holiday into next financial year.
Carry over 5, but because we've been so short-staffed in grounds, I think I've got about 2 weeks, which I'm not going to be able to get in from now coming up to the end of the year. And I think James has got quite a lot of holiday left over, and so there's the other. So I just wondered whether we could carry that over, or we pay it. If we're paying, we have to pay tax. So at the moment we can carry 5 days over, so.
Yeah. Well, it seems
We just
reasonable
don't
given
have
that
it just for this
everyone-
year. Just for this year, just while this.
everyone's been covering
just at the moment,
Just why.
been covering shortfall in staff, so it's...
It would, only that would, just an exceptional circumstance.
Yeah, well, I'm kind of grateful that you haven't taken the holiday. It's difficult to go, but you're entitled to it, obviously.
But I think we prefer to carry it over than pay.
I don't think it's
Well,
going to pay tax.
so can we carry all our holiday that we've got left at the end of March over?
Well, we can already do 5 days, and you've got 10, you've got 12, so that seems reasonable.
Carry all our holiday. And I don't know how much the Michaels have got left over.
Roughly the same as me, really.
Yeah. Well, I propose that we agree with that.
yeah.
Any seconds? All in favour of that? Thank you. Item 14, re-advertising for co-option. Obviously, we've still got quite a few, 4 or 5 vacancies that we need to fill in the council. We probably need to try and advertise it, promote it more.
Yeah, we will. I just want the permission that we can advertise it again, just to let you know.
Yeah,
All 5 positions.
Yeah, because I just got to wait for the other one to come through. It's gone for to see if there's an election. That's soon, isn't it?
Time expired on that is the 8th or the 10th?
8th March, is that?
I think it is, yeah.
Yeah.
So we could maybe
We'll do
it.
They're about, so
2 weeks
we can't do
time.
anything until that period.
We can do the other 4, but we can't do his.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So we could perhaps put a feature in just one portion or something to
Yeah, definitely.
try and promote interest.
And the people, so that was when, we'll do that.
But do we need to agree to place those adverts or to advertise them?
Yeah.
Propose that we do advertise those vacancies as soon as they're happy. Any seconded? All in favour?
Yeah.
Item 15, part 2, some staffing matters in there as well. Item 16 was adopting the recommendations from the review plan that we did in 2023. Is that specifically on the points of view?
Yeah, 5 points at the end, and I think I put a proposal through as well. It's just so that we can create a new business plan. I think our business plan explains, so we need to create a new business plan. It was for 4 years, and I think it's coming up nearly.
Yeah, that's
I'm not going
important.
to do it yet, but that's something that I will do once we're on the to-do list.
Yeah.
A business resilience. I think it would be quite a good idea to have a open day in the community centre, and we could have it when we have our annual parish meeting, or annual town meeting, sorry. But we could have an open day in the afternoon running into the parish meeting and just connect with the public and just ask them what they'd like us to provide what projects they would like, because we've got quite a lot of money. And it's just connecting with the public again.
Don't need to ask the public what they want.
Yeah, and I just think if we could have a community centre and then just have an open day.
Yeah.
I don't know here, I don't know how big it'll be. And I don't know whether we should have our annual parish meeting in the community centre or a bigger building, or do you think it should be in there? We could have an open day in here, as long as there's no
Well, we've
witness.
had it in King's Arm Street in previous years, and so this is about the same size, isn't it?
We could have it in here. And then the other one is, so just to go change management, project management, improve site management for public projects, so that would be that one, 5 smart measures. Change management, conduct full discussions with current staff to agree on the timescale for changes. I just need to let you know that our cultural review, they're coming on Tuesday to do that.
Okay.
Contacted me this afternoon, so it's one day. They think it might go into 2 days. They would like to speak to councillors as well. So I haven't got mobile numbers or contact numbers for people, but I think they might want to speak to you. So if you
Oh,
can.
not a physical meeting, so.
Well, I don't know what they're going to do. She'll come on Tuesday and then we'll discuss it. It's going to be Gemma Murphy who came last time.
Yeah.
So she was the one who recommended it, I believe. So she's the one who's coming out to do that. So just to see, just gets on the right track again. So that would be the change management and motivation, praise and appraisal. She'll help us with a lot of this because she'll probably get popular praise as points in my direction.
I don't know that we need to agree that, because presumably that plan was agreed in 2023.
2023.
But where those, I wasn't here then, but where those actions agreed,
Well,
proposed.
we can specifically do on that, to adopt the five
Yeah.
points in the action plan.
To adopt them, I need a proposer.
I'll propose that. Any second? All in favour? Thank you. Item 7, trying to resolve the RFO situation.
I've gone to Norfolk Out and they haven't got anybody. They have got an RFO, but she's in Stoke Ferry Cross and she won't travel, so there's no point. But she did say she'd be able to help us with projects, so my recommendation is that you keep me as RFO until such time as just to cover maternity leave. There is nobody available. There's open clerks, but not RFOs.
Well, I suppose we'd still keep our eyes open.
We could do, yeah.
In case someone becomes available, we could review the situation.
The lady in Stoke Ferry Cross said she could help with projects if we had a project, but I think Jess is now doing all her year-end stuff. Jess has passed her filter and now doing her ILCA, and I think we're quite confident that we'll be able to get year-ends done. It's quite a big job in March. And then we get ready for our internal audit to come, and I've sent her an email and asked her if she will come out the first week in May, so it gives us all April. And you've done training, aren't you? So you've got a training to go to in April where we have to get the AGAR all completed and then come away with it completed and done. So I don't know if I really need somebody to do RAFRL or projects outside, because I don't know, it's up to
Well,
you.
at the last meeting, the task was to try and locate a
I
local
haven't been
person,
able
which
to.
I think there was someone over in King's Lynn as well, wasn't there, which is equally inconvenient.
We are, in terms of the finances, entering a busy period. because there's the year-end accounts and there's the submission we have to make, the AGAR submission, which is to the central
Yeah, Jess is all in hand with.
bodies. But apart from that, there is also, we've got to tidy up the budget for next year. Get a forecasting system in place. And it's needs must, and if it's easier to do this with the staff that are here, over any workload than it is, that's probably the best way just to get through it. And then we'll see what the following year brings. We're not compliant yet with our financial regulations, but
No,
we are where we are.
you will be by the end of the year, because you'll need to be for the internal auditor.
But you know, we've got a forecast. We need to know where we are with income and expenditure to the end of this year, which I think probably will comply with what's in the budget. I don't think it will be underspent or overspent. But then we need to we're going to have to tweak the budget a bit, because things have moved on since November when we approved it. We're also going to need to have a forecasting system of expenditure and income, and that's required to produce to this council on a 3-monthly basis. And we should have a 3-year forecast as well, which this council hasn't done for some years.
We'll have it next week.
But we will have to do it. But, you know, I'm confident that the staff, and obviously I will do what I can, but we will get there. And Jessie's nodding ahead.
On the subject of getting there, and I agree with what Eric is saying, but could not part of what you just actually mentioned, and I've just written down very quickly, year-end plus AGAR reporting, budget for and forecast on a 4-year basis, would that surely not come under projects? And if you needed a helping hand, you get somebody in to help you to get to that point.
Yeah, we could do.
And then that alleviates pressure.
Yeah, so this RFO,
Yeah.
she could work on doing that away. But she didn't, I think there's something wrong, she said to me, she didn't want to be the RFO, she wants to be under my supervision as the clerk.
That's fine.
And then she would help on projects, but she's got her own business. So she's an internal auditor, but able to help as well.
But taking the time constraints you're now looking at,
Yes.
and you mentioned the word projects, and when it all came out, well, surely that all falls into one
Yeah.
financial bill. And you get the extra pair of hands in to finalise it for reporting.
So if you're okay, I would
Does that
like her to maybe help on certain things, because she'll probably be able to help.
I mean, I think we know what's here, but we give the clerk authority that if extra help is required for certain aspects, that we approve it.
Right, so you need to propose.
Steve
need to-
proposed it.
Can I propose that you bring in a project RFO to assist?
She wouldn't be the RFO, I would be the RFO.
Bring in the
Yeah.
assistant to projects.
Yeah, an
if you like.
external
In regards
auditor.
to
External, yeah,
year-end budgeting and forecasting.
Yeah.
For,
she will help on that.
is that right?
Yeah,
Something like that anyway.
I know.
You can spark up the words.
So what you need to propose and say, so that's proposed by Stephen.
Yeah.
And second by
Penny.
Penny. But you also need to propose and second that I'll be the RFO.
Yes, I propose that.
Under the control of the RFO. That is the incoming RFO, which is you. Yeah.
Eric and second by.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, and that is only temporary
Yeah.
until the end of maternity
Yeah.
leave, yeah?
That's to alleviate
Yeah.
any unforeseen problems that you can't see at the moment, if you get what I mean. An extra pair of hands there.
And I will make sure that that says maternity leave in
Yes.
the
Okay, that's good. That'll get us back on, relieve the burden of it. Go to take some holiday.
Yeah.
Oh, you might be able to, yeah.
Item 18 is to do the agree job description for the finance officer.
Right, so this Jess is on extended hours till the end of February and time and a half. So if you made her a finance officer, then there's SCP-18, which was agreed in the
August 2023
yes,
meeting.
yes, then she would know where she was. She still does 17 3/4 hours, so you would still stay at 17 3/4 hours, but to give her that extra responsibility
On a
on
permanent
a
basis rather
permanent
than
basis.
well,
Because even when the RFO comes back, she would still need to help, and I can see us getting busier and busier and busier as a town council.
Well, with what's been suggested by Saul earlier on, that's the obvious way it's going to go, isn't it?
And from the meeting that I went to.
Any comments on the?
And then she would be on the same level as Jasmine.
So, any?
Opposed?
Second.
And, in favour?
Talk about, you can definitely hear you. Sorry,
Um,
she just stepped over.
We also need to agree to.
You know, I didn't want to say that because you just went straight into it. Okay.
We also need to agree to put Jess into that role, don't we?
Would you like me to step out?
I'll
step out.
Yeah, sorry.
Shouldn't this be part 2, Chair?
You can put it in part 2. Yeah, if you want.
Okay.
So
Yeah, come on.
you come back and put it in part 2. Sorry.
You look out.
Right, moving on to item 19, council and staff training.
Right, we've got a new member of staff and we may have some new councillors hopefully, so I think we should do some councillor training again, you know, the thing we can do. You can do it by Zoom. I don't know whether we can do training again or you can just have an update, but I know some councillors missed it and I do think it's really important for you to do your council training, to do code of conduct training, to do any other training that you need. You can do planning training. We're starting a new budget with a new trainer. We've increased the budget to 7,000 for training, and I just think we should maximise our training.
So do we need to arrange that once we've done the next course?
Well, if you're just going to do Zoom training rather than full council training, I can send you Zoom, or you can go and do a training course. Some of the council trainers are in the evening, some of them are in the daytime. So I can just send out some information of when they are, but I do think it's really important, especially as we read.
Yeah.
So I'll send them out. The DBS, myself, Jess and Jasmine have all been cleared, they're all okay. The other ones, we've got some people who had a problem. I just would like, so Stephen's got his DBS, Paul Heinrich and Bob has all got theirs, and we're now getting rest. I think some people had a problem with the online system, and some people need to bring us in their paperwork. So if you could just bring them to a meeting, just so that we can just,
Yeah,
I mean, I think I can
important.
verify them and then just tell Jasmine.
It's
We did
important, it's
agree.
important that we're all,
Yeah.
we don't often deal with young or vulnerable people that we might do, and it's a good thing to do, I think.
The staff training? Yeah, the staff training's all going on.
Ongoing.
We're all doing staff training.
Yeah.
I try and get as much. So Scribe is really good because their staff training is free, isn't it?
That's good. Item 20, the new Norwich Road development by Hopkins. County Council are going to provide street lighting to the main road. They've asked whether we would also like to see lighting on the side roads, which clearly we would. So I'm not quite sure why they're asking. I don't think they're asking us to pay for them.
I haven't said anything about money.
No. I'd have thought the police would require it anyway, you know, from a security point of view, they would they normally want all roads lit.
With net zero, you must be not against that.
Because if you go in on an unadopted road and put street lighting supplied, it's then becomes your responsibility. Now, if that road isn't going to be taken on by highways, which is their responsibility. What they're trying to do is drop the shoulder and say, oh, well, we're not really putting in the highways plan at the moment, so if you want lights on it, you'll have to put it up. And the next thing you know, the residents will want it tarmacking. And then because you've now adopted it under your street lighting, you've taken responsibility for it. So it's a minefield, and I think we should be very careful.
We have a lot of streetlights around town on publicly adopted roads, so it's a bit of a minefield.
On adopted roads are different because they're already adopted.
Yeah.
They're recognised by the highways.
So will could this estate be run by a management company?
Not if you take that particular slice away from them, no.
Oh, and then we'll have to have the upkeep of the verges and things like that.
So at the moment, we have got street lighting in town. Some are paid for by highways, some are NMDC, some are town council. You're now going into a new residential plot where highways is saying they're prepared to do X, and now they're asking us if we're prepared to do the next step and take on Y. But once you take it on, it's yours.
Do you think that as a town councilman might get responsibility of all the street lights?
If it's it's a game. It's a game we can't. It's like with the major projects. We are in a position where we are not objective to giving our contribution towards something that is the betterment of the town. But for this to be a betterment of the town, then highways should put the tarmac down and then ask us if we want to get involved with this street lighting, not the other way around.
Can I suggest, Mr. Mayor, we try and seek some clarity over this? My understanding is that the existing Hopkins estate, all the roads are adopted by highways, all of them, including the side roads with cul-de-sacs. And I would expect when they do the second part now, that the same thing would follow. So I'm not sure when they say unadopted what they mean. I don't know.
Well, to be fair, I'm not sure if I said that, I said the wrong word, but they said they would like the spine road, which is the main route.
Yeah, spine.
I think that I would have thought they'd still be adopting the other roads.
Well, my understanding is that it took a long time, but highways have adopted all of the roads on the Hopkins estate. And I would presume that they're going through the same process again. What I don't know is, other than the spine road through the estate, whether there is lights on the cul-de-sacs and the side roads.
Yes, yeah. I think that's what we're talking about.
And I don't know if they've installed them there or not. And the worry would be that what they'd say, well, if you want them, then the town council's got to pay for the lights to be installed. If the road's been adopted by highways, we wouldn't have the concern that Steve raised. I think we need some clarity about exactly what we're seeking.
Yeah, because it does say on unadopted roads, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, which I find puzzling because all the roads on that estate are adopted.
That's why I raised the query,
because that's what happens. So I think we need to clarify. And it's if somebody knows somebody lives on the estate and pop down there at night, we could soon see if
We'll ask Wendy then to go back to them and find out exactly what the proposal is.
exactly what they mean and what the existing lighting provision is at the moment. Is it just the main road that goes through?
Yeah, just it's like non-spine road, the main road that goes through.
Right.
So the side roads, Norfolk County Council, they don't require, they won't be putting street lighting
Well,
in.
that's my understanding is that
Yes.
on side roads they only put them on the main spine roads.
Can you add to your note there, investigate, please, Wendy, that we check what the original constraints were on regarding street lighting when the planning permission was granted?
Yeah.
To see if it is a quick slip of the shoulder, to see if we'll just run along to their aid when it should have been on the paperwork in the first place.
Okay,
The other part of that, they're asking for suggestions for naming of roads there, which we don't normally get asked about names of roads. My thought was, is it sort of connected with the nursery and market garden and rose gardens, that there's some sort of theme around that kind of thing.
Could we do what we did in previous bits where we've been asked for names and approach the schools as a project to come up with suitable names for this area? and see if they can investigate how they would like it, and maybe put a little bit of competition in to get people to get the local people involved, and see what the populace want.
But if it's, I was thinking if it was a nursery, we could all have plant names.
Well,
Plant names. for
you've got
it.
plant names, you've got,
Birds.
because you said nursery,
You've got the trees
you
as
could have
well, trees.
Nelson's Nest or whatever.
Right.
Just throw it out there,
Throw it out
let
to
the
them.
public have a go and submit their submissions and see what we get back.
Okay.
Maybe give them that general feel of it,
Yeah.
so it's not too wild.
You know, the feel under. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
That's fine,
thank
do
you.
that.
21 is about Jasmine's report
This is
on,
Jess's report.
or Jess's report, sorry guys, on the market traders, that we've got some vacancies at the moment. I think there's a new greengrocer coming, which is good.
Well, it's really difficult, isn't it? Because they want to come and then
also alongside
and then they go silent.
You get so many that's interested and then you don't give them outwards.
Yeah. Anyway, from the suggestions that you've made, having 3 months free for a new store or something seems like quite a good idea to get someone to come and commit, because you need to be there probably 3 months to decide whether it works or not.
definitely winter rates for us.
When I was looking at the rates, because our rates are the cheapest around. They are really cheap.
Second to
£9.
none. The second to none.
£9. I think when I was at Alsham, their rates were £13. At Alsham, they're £13. So that is really, really cheap. And that's just something that I thought about. We did, I think there was a thing about start-up markets, wouldn't we? Because we've got some gazebos and we should see if there's anybody youngster who wants to do a start-up. We can offer the table, we've got tables, we can offer the gazebo and just say, do you want to have a go? For free. You can have a go for free.
Yeah, we've just got to make sure they've got their insurance.
That's
That's
the
the only thing
only
they need.
That's the only thing, yeah.
Town notice board, next
We've
door
done it all.
neighbour.
We've done it all. Well, we will now put it on the next door and Instagram, but we've done it all.
You might get more now the weather's warming up, because you do
Yeah.
find between December and March, not a lot of people want to be out in cold weather. But as soon as the weather starts, you might get
They've all reported in recent weeks that they are just not as busy as what they have been. Obviously it's colder, we're not going to get as many people come out, but I think they're all feeling the pinch. And it'd be nice to be able to give back to them and actually show them that we are wanting them to stay.
Well, might be just offering a point of clarity. It's great that we have markets, amazing. I've visited markets ever since I was a small boy, so I have a special place in my heart. However, be careful about the stories that you're told, because I will tell you now, not when traders are struggling, and I wish my business had such reasonable rates as they enjoy. I believe some time ago it was agreed at the town council the use of pop-up stalls to encourage stuff. We never really got the traction to push it out, but I think given how the town council's being run at the moment, the staff is doing an amazing job pushing information out. I think you could probably give a little push on that might help to stir up some people who might be a little dubious. I'm sure Penny would have some interesting tidbits to drop off to you if you weren't chair. But sorry, I shouldn't be interfering with your discussion.
No, I don't think we've ever really pushed the pop-up starter ones anyway, so that's something we could do, isn't it? Particularly as the weather gets a bit better, people come up with a toe in the water, can't they? So they would be free, presumably, wouldn't they?
Yeah, so if we get new stalls, we can sort of say, you can have it free, use our gazebo and...
Yeah, so we could offer that in terms of proper traders, giving them a free period for the first few months while they try us. That would be, I think, be worth doing, wouldn't it? Because if people haven't been here before, they might be nervous about whether or not they'll sell anything, and if they don't, not that the pitch fee is a big part of their cost anyway, but it shows that we're welcoming to new stalls. So, well, I don't think we need to vote on the pop-up stores, because we already agreed on those. What are your thoughts on having a free starter period for new stores? 2 months, 3 months?
I think 3 months is probably a bit too long,
Mm.
because if it's weekly, 3
Yes.
months
That's
is
correct.
12.
Why don't we do a month free and then the second month half price or something
Yeah,
like
that's
that, and
probably
then leave it
better.
like that?
Yeah.
Have
Just-
a month's free trial.
What, even in the summer?
For
For new ones?
But any new person.
Just to get Gimble up, isn't it?
advertise it to the hill and see what comes back.
Yeah, okay, so I propose then 1 free month, 1 half price month for new stalls.
That gives them 8 weeks to see if they're going
Mm.
to bite the bullet.
Well, I propose that then.
I'll second.
All in favour? Good, thank you. Item 22, we've been asked by,
This is just for Thursday markets, isn't it?
yes, yeah. We've been asked by Norfolk and NGC about bike shelter for the bus hub.
Oh,
Well, everybody agrees that
It's not in this one.
no.
stop on track, yeah.
They want to install a cycle shelter next to the air raid shelter as you turn into the
Yeah,
bus hub. They're going to provide it, but they'd like us
it's NDC.
to adopt it thereafter. And they're not high maintenance, but I would suggest that it has a bollard up there to protect it, because I can see it being hit by bus.
Yeah, people already think those.
Next
Just as you come in.
Just as you come in, is that where the parking enforcement is?
Yeah,
Just by the
it's
side,
like
just in
that,
front of
there's
it.
a couple of parking spaces.
Okay.
in
The only trouble is, I don't know whether Saunders will have a little problem, because they pull their bus in there
They park
and
there,
wait.
they park there when they're early.
And they wait, don't they?
It's not their car park.
It's not their problem.
Well,
A bicycle.
well, we could raise that when we go back to
Yeah.
it.
A bicycle shelter would be good, because it would encourage more people, because a lot of people bike, don't they, and then get on the bus.
What about the other side of it? And then just lose 1 parking space.
Go back to it.
Yeah. But in principle, we're happy to adopt the
Yeah.
bike shelter.
Yeah.
I'll propose that we're
Yeah.
all in favour of that, but with a bollard protection.
So, with a bollard.
Subject to science and.
Well, if you would put the bollard in,
Well, whoever installs the
Who does the-
shelter.
I think.
There is
But
probably
then there's
going
our
to
upkeep after that.
Instead of going that way.
there's probably going to have to be liaison here with both counties and the district. The car park is only not the district, but neither of the districts should go to sort that kind of minor stuff out.
Yeah,
and,
okay.
but the county are going to give us the shelter, so yeah.
Yeah, we just take it on as an asset. We don't want to hit like the best asset.
Item 23, I think we previously discussed getting a 360-degree camera thing for live streaming our meetings. So the proposal is the actual purchase of it, isn't it? Which is in your pack. So, any questions? So that's for live streaming the meeting, not recording it, it's broadcasted out by Zoom during the meeting so people can.
You will record it as well, so we can use it for recording, but then when we're ready, we can live stream it via Zoom or Teams. So that means that the public can, well, they could dial in, but that takes a member of staff to be with me to help them dial in, but, or connect with.
Points.
The owl also would, so it would make sure that only one person's picking at a time, because it would have to pick up that one person, so it'd make us more compliant. And you could also be used to do my agenda minutes as well. Agendas. I think
Well,
it was
it's what-
Heinrich mentioned it, didn't he?
That's what, I mean,
That's what
upper tier,
district
upper
do, it's
tier
like
councils
councils,
now all do it, have done it for some considerable time. I think it does improve the conduct of the meetings. And larger town councils really ought to be following suit. I don't know what the larger ones do in Norfolk, but you know, as a transparent council, we ought to be doing it.
certainly some other towns are certainly doing it. So
Well, yeah, I mean, it's the way it's moving, and that's what we should be doing.
Because there might be coming room where it has to be done. It
Yeah,
might be
yeah,
mandatory.
But it does improve the conduct of the meetings.
Have we got finalisation of costs on that?
Yeah, there's a quote we sent through. I sent a quote through for that.
As I say, I've not been able to print anything off my,
It's 1624 with everything net of that.
1624. 6. There we go. That much
cost
it
of
is.
installing and training and
Yeah, and training and training. They did say there was a similar one to the owl, so it's just, I just think we just need
so
to.
we might have to
And then we'd have to have a Zoom membership. I don't think we have a Zoom membership because we can get 40 minutes free, but the Zoom membership is like £100 a year.
So we have to rearrange the rooms so that the camera could be somewhere where it can see us all.
Not to on money, but it'll also encourage no mumbling. It's quite
Yes.
difficult to hear sometimes.
is this just a
Sorry.
one-off, there's no room for because that's only one for that,
Yeah, yeah, could do.
so you can recite it, is that right?
Yeah, could put it. Yeah, we could do.
It zooms in, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because then you've got the whole room on one focus.
It's not my room though, is it?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I know that we do it.
Seconded.
All in favour? Against? David?
Who's second, I'm sorry?
Stephen, Eric and Stephen. Nearly at the end now. Item 24 of updates on the action plans for the finance and safety audits.
We're getting there, aren't we?
Yes, I mean, I think by the meeting in March, I'll be in a better position, Wendy and ourselves, to update. Obviously, the intention was that we would outsource salaries
Yeah.
and appraisals. The HR advises that we can't do that to comply with employment practice and law at the moment. Not to say that we shouldn't, but there are other things that we need to progress. So by March we will have a reserve policy and an investment policy coming to this council for approval. So, and the only thing I think I will say, when I talked with the auditor that did this study, she did say to us that it would take some time. I think we're a bit optimistic, trying to think we could get through it all. But I am determined, along with the clerk, to get through all the recommendations and ensure that we are fully compliant in terms of how we conduct this council's finances.
So after the March meeting, you can update the action plan and we can
Yes,
publish
I
it.
would think so. I'm seeing Wendy tomorrow to go through the agenda for finance. And indeed, one of the things we're going to have to check tomorrow, Bob, is whether, because it was enlarged to do with the audit, and the audit is still part of it, and whether that still applies, but I'll talk to Wendy about that tomorrow.
The pensions.
And then there is the pension
Yes.
issue.
I am going to be spot checking through that.
We do need to, that's another thing I'm going to talk to Wendy about tomorrow. We were hoping it could go to the National Association of Local, or the Norfolk Association of Local Councils. They're short-staffed at the moment and don't have finance people there to do it. Wendy has said to me that she's willing to have a look at it and see how much is involved. So I think we will be taking up that offer.
It may be somebody that lady could do as a project.
Well, exactly.
Because she has dealt with that.
Yes, that's a good
And
idea.
that might
So,
be
but that's
somebody
something
that
we'll,
All under one umbrella.
Yes.
it's something we will discuss
Because I
tomorrow.
did tell her about it.
We will discuss tomorrow. The reason we need to get on with it is because nobody really knows at this stage what the magnitude of it is. It might be quite small, it could be quite large, but it's not easy, for example, to answer freedom of information requests when somebody asks this. All you can say is we put £100,000 as a reserve, and that is to cater probably the worst case scenario. It might only be 1,000 or two. I mean, quite frankly, we just don't know, but there is a need to get on with it.
And the HMRC obligations is the biggest thing, I think, because when you pay bills.
So that's where we are. That's where we are.
Okay, thank you.
The health and safety audit's going well, isn't it?
I've almost completed all my tasks on that. I just do need to pop into the office tomorrow just to sort of do an update on
You've got to give me a list of risk assessments.
Yeah. Everything else will be complete tomorrow.
Thank you. Good. Right, item 25 is items for next agenda. There's some items come out for today's meeting. And with that, dates for future meetings is finance, Tuesday a week. Next week. Events, Thursday the 13th.
Oh, development and community, sorry, is the 18th of March. It says 18th of February, but it's the 18th of March.
18th of March, and next full council on the 25th of March. And with that, that's the end of the public meeting. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.